Happy Tuesday. It's 1 o'clock on Tuesday's Lunch with Dr. Blum. Happy to see you all. Thanks for joining me. I am fresh back from California. I was at the CASI conference this weekend, the Designs for Health CASI conference. If anyone's heard of it, it's Clinical and Scientific Insights, CASI. And this was their second one, and it's really shaping up to be one of the leading sort of functional and integrative medicine conferences that they're really looking to be an education leader in the space that I work and teach in. And so it was very exciting to be there and to be a speaker there. We each did a TED style talk. So I gave my first TED talk, which was 20 minutes and none of that academic slide, to sort of 20 minutes of telling a story. So that was really fun. And as soon as I get a copy of it, I'm going to put it up somewhere, and I'll let you all know where it is so you can watch it. But I gave a TED talk on how to learn to be a why treating arthritis. To treat arthritis, you have to heal the gut, and you have to, in order to heal the gut, you really need to work on your lifestyle, because gut health is lifestyle medicine. Food and stress are the numbers 1 and 2 factors that really affect your gut health. So if you're working on gut health, do our gut cleanse programs, do our Heal My Gut programs, and that's all great for the first month or two, and that's the quick fix part. But then you must move into more long-term lifestyle change. So that's what I talked about, and it was great. So I have a little jet lag today, so I might not be my usual, peppy self, but I'll do my best. So let's see. So happy spring. I'm doing a little greenery over here to try to get us all, excited for spring. Days are long now. It's March 21st, I think, so we're officially in spring, so let's hope that the weather cooperates. So let's see, today, and on that topic, last week I was talking about Sjogren's, and I entered into a conversation about the common triggers for systemic autoimmune diseases like Sjogren's. That toxicity is a trigger that needs to be addressed. And sometimes you might not know, my job when people come to see me is to help you figure out, of the list of possible triggers, which are likely to be yours. And sometimes that's testing, but sometimes that's good old-fashioned detective work. I think of myself as a medical detective, and it's about trying to figure out, of going through your whole history, could toxins be an issue for you? And what are the likelihood? Is there even a timing where you had some exposure and then you got sick a year later? So, we do a lot of detective work, and some of that you can do yourself, but we're always here to help you, and I'm going to give you some tips at the end of this discussion for how to get those resources. But the discussion on Sjogren's and on autoimmunity and toxins, at the end of that, I promise to come back and continue the discussion just about detox and what that means and toxins, etc. And so that's what we're going to do today. And I'm excited to share this with you, and that does bring me back and close the loop on how I started my little pitch about the spring, because there's different times of the year to cleanse. Now, let's talk about the word cleanse, right? It's very, very confusing. What does it mean? What's a cleanse? You all know what a cleanse is? There are juice cleanses and gut cleanses, and we refer to detox as a cleanse. I mean, I think if you think about that word, cleanse, you're getting clean from something, or you're cleaning out something. So I think that word's used to apply to a lot of different things. I use the word for gut healing, for the gut program that we use, a gut cleanse, because I think of it like we're weeding out the garden a little bit, the inner garden. We're cleaning out weeds, and so it's like cleansing the gut of harmful bacteria, microbes, bacteria, yeast, and parasites, and other organisms that might be floating around in there that we want to get rid of. So there is a cleanse aspect to the gut program. Cleanse is often used to talk about detox, and I like to think of detox programs not so much as where you're actually actively cleansing something, that you're doing the cleansing by giving someone a pill that's going to pull toxins out. Instead, it really is about liver support. So a detox program is really a liver support program to give your body the nourishment and the need and give it the support that it needs to do its own detox. Your body's liver is your natural detox organ, and your kidneys too do help remove the body toxins from the body. And so the liver's always doing that and the kidneys are always doing that, and giving your body what it needs to eliminate toxins. That's what we refer to as a detox. Now, we could also call it a cleanse, and if you are, that's fine, but just be careful that you know what kind of, what your people are referring to when they say the word cleanse. I think juice cleanses can be really good, and most of you know that I'm a co-founder at Organic Farmer, which is an amazing, clean, or all organic juicer, cold pressed juice and food grab and go retail store. That's actually, we opened our second one in the area here in Westchester, but we deliver everywhere. But Organic Farmer, I created these juice cleanses that have protein and healthy fat, because part of the problem with juice cleanses is that sometimes they only are strict juices, and there's sugar, and sometimes there's sugar, and it's not organic, and you don't give your body all that it needs to remove toxins. Whereas if you're going to do any kind of cleanse or any kind of detox, you want to support your body and give it every nutrient that it needs to remove the toxins. And we're going to talk more about that as we go today. But the short of it is, just since I'm right there to finish that sentence and dot that I, is not only do you need tons of antioxidants and greens and vegetables, your liver really needs those, but you also need healthy fat. The liver needs that too, omega-3s. The liver also really needs protein. The last step in that conveyor belt in your liver that removes toxins from the body is called a conjugation reaction, and it requires amino acids. And so if you're fasting and you're eating only vegan, vegetable foods, and you're not having any protein foods whatsoever, the detox process could make you feel worse than better, because your liver will be churning out those toxins and moving them through the conveyor belt, but they get stuck in that last step and can't keep going because there's not enough protein. So a well thought out detox program should be a targeted, nutrient dense liver support program. Now, in Ayurveda, which is, I love the Ayurveda health system. Ayurveda is an old ancient Indian medical system of a way of approaching health and medicine. And I love all, I think we have to take all the ancient knowledge and sort of bring it in wherever we can. And one of the things about Ayurveda that makes so much sense to me is their approach to seasonal eating and seasonal aspects of how you take care of the body. So in the spring is a time of cleansing in Ayurveda, because that's when all the greens come up from the ground. It's the green shoots. And actually the seasonal eating for the spring in Ayurveda is greens and greens and greens and vegetables, low fat, they're not big on animal anyway, but really a more low fat, astringent cleansing. The body has a lot of mucus from the winter, and in the winter in Ayurveda you eat a lot of nuts and seeds and grains and hearty and fat, and it's very hard. It's a heartier kind of it's a heartier season to eat, seasonal eating, because the wind and the cold dries you out from the inside. So you're eating all these moist and nourishing foods that create moisture. Well, all the mucus that protects you from that cold and all that wind, the mucus that's built up in your body at the end of the winter needs to be cleaned out. And so nature gives us all these, all the greens, the spring greens that start really popping up. And the liver loves that food. Those foods really are full of antioxidants and vitamins and nutrients that really support the liver. The cruciferous, like the kale and the chards and all that, those all have compounds in them that really help the liver do detox. And so I would encourage you, as we're moving to spring, we start looking to cleanse. Cleanse, using that word cleanse in the detox sense, right? So you always have to remember, is it a liver detox cleanse or is it a gut cleanse, right? So today we're talking about a liver detox cleanse. And so it's really, it's a natural time to do this. And I think of it as an opportunity also to clear out toxins, but from a traditional Ayurvedic perspective, it's a cleanse to cleanse the body of the accumulated sort of mucus and heaviness from the winter. So if you, for either reason, your body really likes it, and we know that because it's our most popular time of year when everyone shows up here at Blum Center for Health to do our group detox programs. We have our next one, March 15th, is going to be our next group. What?
May.
Oh, sorry, May. Take that back. May 15th. It was an M, so I just sort of jumped on that. And March 15th is behind us anyway, so May 15th we're doing our next spring group detox. But it's a natural time when we know people really want to do that. And I can tell you for myself, I started today a 21-day detox just because I've been traveling so much, and I feel that I'm so excited for spring. My mind wants to sort of detox and feel lighter with the sunshine, and I can feel my body just needs that reboot. So, and if you're interested in the 21-day detox, which is our everyday sort of detox program, we offer do-it-yourself detox kit with a guide that you can get on our website, blumhealthmd.com. So now that I told you all about detox, I was supposed to go in my own mind, I was going to go in a different order today, but that's okay. I want to circle back to like, what is a toxin and how do you know if you need a detox, other than just, oh, I feel like doing it because it's the spring. Toxins. So here's the thing: we're living we know we're living in a toxic environment, and we call it the toxic soup. I had the pleasure to sit at the Cassie conference and listen to Deanna Minnick give a great talk about detox, her whole detox program that she runs. But talk about detox, and it's more than just mercury, right? We all know there's mercury in fish, and and you know what she said? My patients say this all to me: how do I have mercury? I don't eat fish. You know what is mercury? In incense. Incense, as it burns, releases mercury, most incense that you buy. So that sort of blew my mind because I didn't know that. And so you see, you can always have an empty cup and go to lectures and hear new things, no matter how much you think you already know. And so that's a good lesson for all of us. But incense. So looking around you and looking at different kinds of toxins. So heavy metals is something that a lot of you might be familiar with. Mercury is the most common concern right now because it's known as an autoimmunity trigger. It's known as a trigger, especially Hashimoto's thyroiditis, but also Sjogren's and lupus and the systemic autoimmune diseases. But toxins, so there are different lists of different toxins that we know are problematic. And these include, and I'm just going to give very brief. So heavy metals, mercury, lead is an issue. Both of those are neurotoxins and can be responsible for like tremors and Parkinson's and neuropathy. I was looking for I need my tea. Wait 1 second. Be right back. Sorry about that. I just have some liquid. It's green tea, actually. Good in antioxidants and good for the liver. Mouth's a little dry. I flew home last night from San Francisco, a little jet lagged, so my body's feeling that dryness, right? It takes days to recover from travel. Actually, the high altitude, and when they pump in all those smells into the airplane and you go, oh my God, what was that? There's definitely some effect that I feel on my body after I travel. But toxins, so metals, mercury, lead, but then there's also a big class of toxins in the whole pesticide world. And the biggest one that there's so much research right now on is glyphosate, which is Roundup. Glyphosate actually damages the gut and the tight junctions and causes leaky gut, and it's very, very hard. It's the most pervasive toxin that we're all exposed to. Everybody's got it in their bloodstream. It's now been proven. There's studies now showing how we've all been exposed. The only way to avoid it is to eat organic as much as you can, but I was out to dinner for 3 days in a row. I got a nice dosage of glyphosate. I ate salads. If it's not organic, it's going to have Roundup on it. And so that's that kind of toxin. But there's also the persistent organic pollutants, we call them, the POPs, which are organophosphates, organochlorides. They live in the environment a long time, and those are other kinds of pesticides. There's plastics. Now, my goal of telling you this whole story of all the different toxins is not to scare you or send you out looking for tests to measure the levels of this. What I want to share with you, which is really important, and remember this, is I want you to understand that there's a concept called toxin load. It's as important as it is to perhaps identify individual toxins, and I do test for mercury, and you can do a test for the persistent organophosphates, the pollutants. You can test for that. Mercury I probably test for more often, but it's not necessary. There's a concept called total toxin load. And think of it this way. Your body is created to be stressed, and then you recover from the stress. So it's always stress and recovery, stress and recovery, stress and recovery. This is true of your stress system, which is your hormone system, where you have a stressor and, oh my God, fight or flight, and then you breathe, and you recover. But it's the same of any kind of environmental or external stressors that come into the body. So toxins, toxin exposure, toxin load, the total amount of toxins in your body is what stresses your body, because if I have tons of pesticides in me and tons of plastics in me, and then I eat a whole bunch of mercury one weekend, my cup is full. My body, my liver, think of it's simplistic, but you can think of it this way. Your liver is just already completely congested and full while it's trying to get that's with all those toxins that you already have, right? And so your liver's all congested and full, and you add on that last bit of toxins, and it could be mercury, it could be something else, and you can't handle that. And those toxins then spill over and cause what we call oxidative stress throughout the body. And think of it like inflammation and free radicals that go and damage the tissues anywhere, including the brain, including the gut, including the liver, including in the muscles. You might get muscle pain and inflammation. You can get joint pain and inflammation. It just shows up everywhere. And so the idea is not to go after that mercury perhaps specifically, but to figure out a way to lower the whole toxin load, right? So it's a much more it's a concept that's much easier to execute and to live with and to do on your own, which is lower your overall toxin load. And then your liver and your body will be able to manage the small sort of blips that you get exposed to as you go along. And so when I think about the toxin load, so back to my stress and recovery. So once if your baseline is all the way up here and you're filled with toxins like this, you can't really recover from any added stress. So if we can lower your toxin load and you have a stressor like you eat some fish with mercury, you can recover from it because your body can handle it because your total load is lower. Now I hope that makes sense for most of you. Now, so what I want to share with you today then is what detox means and how much longer? 10 minutes total? Okay. And you'll stop me if there are any questions. Okay. So so I want to share with you in general is the idea that we want to lower total toxin load and how to do that. Because that you all can do. That's something that you all can do. Now, one of the first, and so the way we're going to do that, let's just finish that thought. The way we're going to lower total toxin load is to sort of reduce the stressors on the system. So try to reduce how many toxins in general you're exposed to all the time, and to support your body's natural detox systems to excrete it better. And that in general means supporting your liver. I like to think of the liver or like toxins. An analogy I use in my book, The Immune System Recovery Plan in my book, is if you think of a stagnant pond, and you know how there's all this gunk just sort of laying around in the stagnant pond, and you can see all this sort of surface slimy stuff, and think of that as all the toxins in your pond. And you take a filter, like one of those, somebody comes and puts a water fountain in the middle of the pond, and it's got this filter in it, and it turns it on, and as the water starts filtering through that filter, flowing through the filter, the pond starts clearing. So we want to turn your filter on. We want to help your liver do a better job clearing those toxins out and reducing the total toxin load, and you will start feeling better. Now, before I move on to exactly the detox program or what you would do, I don't want to not share with you the idea of how do you know if you're toxic? How do you know if your toxin load is high? How do you know if you need detox? One of these, and I'm going to post this. This isn't up yet because I just realized I wanted to do it. So within the next hour, we will have this up on the Facebook page for you to download. It'll be a PDF. This is a classic function, IFM, which I redid for my book. Actually, this is from my book. It's a medical symptom questionnaire. And you can score yourself, because if you have too many toxins in your body, you're going to feel it. You're going to have more inflammation. You can have trouble sleeping. You're going to have brain fog. You might have muscle pain. It goes through all the symptoms that are related to high toxin load and toxicity, and you score yourself. At the end, you come up with a score, okay? And it stages it into 3 levels. The lowest level is, well, maybe you're not so toxic, you know, and then you can actually just do a reboot every year, just because you'll feel better in the spring. And, you know, I still think even if you're not toxic, like I don't score high on this test, but I still do a yearly liver support program because I know I'm exposed to everything, you know, and I don't want to get sick. So as a preventive, I think even if you score low, you probably want to get in the habit of supporting your body's detox system in an ongoing way, or once a year with a detox program. The people in the middle, though, well, you'll see when you look at this, but the scoring is if you're less than 35, you're low. If you're between 35 and 69, you're moderate. And then high is 70 to 99, and then severe symptoms of toxicity is over 99. And so you're going to see this. Now, what I want to, so you'll see how likely it is that you're toxic, and this is a really helpful way to do this, because not only will it give you a sense of how toxic you are, but as you start working on the liver's detox system and you start lowering your toxic load and noticing how you feel better, you redo the test and you use this to score yourself and to follow your progress. So I hope that all makes sense for you. So let's finish up by just sharing, so what do you want to do? How are you supporting your liver with detox? The first thing is to remove, we always do a food plan, you know, a really clean food plan. And our classic detox program is a 21-day program. We have our intense cleanse coming up in May, which is a 5-day intense cleanse, which I would only do if you're in the low to moderate category. I wouldn't start doing a cleanse if you were really high or severely toxic. That might be a little too intense for you. I would recommend that you start with our most gentle detox, which is the 21-day Simply Detox program, which is the one I started today. It's just 1 shake a day, some supplements, but it's a food plan. It is gluten, dairy, soy, corn, egg free, which is sort of the foundation for a lot of our basic elimination diets, but it's really clean. So there's no alcohol, there's no sugar. There's other foods there's other foods which you get the guide from the website. You'll see there's other foods that are histamine producing foods like shrimp and shellfish. We remove some of those, and peanuts because they have aflatoxins often, which is mold associated with them. So things, and we take out beef, you know, things that are tough on the liver. We want to lighten up the load for the liver. We reduce caffeine. You know, you can do a half a cup of coffee a day, you know, sort of want, and none is even better. We are a little negotiable sometimes on certain things, but really clean up. No preservatives, no dyes. We really have you reading food labels. Get rid of all the toxins and eating organic as close to 100% as you can, especially while doing the program. And while you're cleaning up all those foods and lightening the load and the exposure on your liver and the burden that you're bringing in every day, you boost it with supplements. And so we pack a lot of those nutrients the liver needs into a shake, into a protein powder, to make it easier so you don't have to take a lot of pills. And then we add just a bunch of antioxidants to help support the liver's conveyor belt, because the liver needs greens and antioxidants, ACE, but also things like milk thistle and glutathione and, you know, other nutrients that the liver really needs, and protein and amino acids. And so targeted liver support. And you do this for 21 days. And at the end of the 21 days, you reintroduce the food slowly to see if it triggers any symptoms. And you see maybe you want to not go back to eating dairy because you realize it causes mucus and has other symptoms or gut symptoms. But this is the best. So I really, really believe that we can't live in a bubble. We can all try. How much time left?
5 minutes.
Okay. So I really believe that we can't live in a bubble. I know we can't, because I know I can't, and I'm aware, you know, I walk around and I think, oh my gosh, I can't eat that, you know, there are toxins in that, and, you know, I look at blueberries and, not blueberries, but strawberries and raspberries because they have all the crevices, and they're very high in pesticides, and I really don't eat them unless they're organic. And even if I'm out at a conference, which I was, and they gave us all this fruit to eat, you know, so I stuck with the melon, which is less of an issue for non-organic fruit. So you do your best. You can try not to have food anxiety, which, you know, do want to counsel balance, so not to get too worried about it. So there's a balance there, right? But one of the things, because we can't live in a bubble, one of the things you can do is be as clean as you can, get educated. Go to the Environmental Working Group website, ewg.org. They have the whole Clean 15 and Dirty Dozen, all the food lists. They have where to find toxins in your home, where to find toxins in your cosmetics. You know, there's a lot of help you can get from resources. That's the best, absolute best place to go to figure out how to lower your exposures, change your cleaning products at home, you know, things like that. So even doing all that, if you ever go out to dinner or you eat meals out or you travel, you can't live in a bubble. Therefore, I really do recommend that every year, even if your MSQ score is low, you still should always be supporting your liver in an ongoing way with eating lots of fruits and vegetables. You could drink, cold pressed juices, which is like IV vitamins, I think. You know, it's like when you drink those, you feel that energy come in, intense, eating food. Food is the best way. Food is medicine in an ongoing way all year round. Eating a lot of color, eating the rainbow, eating those foods. Make sure your digestion is really good so you could digest, absorb, and assimilate those foods. If you have any digestion issues, go check out the blumhealthmd.com Heal My Gut program, because you could be eating all those foods, and if they're not getting in, then your liver can't detox properly. You see, so foundational health, you build health from the ground up. You start at the roots. So not only is it lifestyle, you have to eat all those foods, but you also have to make sure your gut is healthy and can digest and assimilate all those foods. And then you can bring them in and help your liver clear toxins out in an ongoing way. And then periodically, you can do a reboot, detox program once a year just to tune things up. If your MSQ is high, though, you definitely need to do a little bit more than just a maintenance supporting your liver. And I do recommend doing some sort of liver detox program. And perhaps even, I keep people on our basic 21-day Simply Detox for 3 months. The supplements and the food plan, and especially if the MSQ is high, and we keep working. Because some people have a very high toxin load, and they need more. 21 days is not magic. A 5-day cleanse is not magic. For those of you who have an autoimmune condition, an inflammatory condition, you think toxins are an issue, you might need to do longer than that. And I'm going to close by just saying that when in doubt, come see us. We have a lot of people here to help you. We now and they are all different, price points, right? So if you don't want to come see one of the doctors like me or one of my colleagues, we have a fantastic health coach who can work with you on via Skype. So you don't even have to come in. You can have a Skype visit with her, or you can come in and meet with her. We have a fantastic nutritionist, Mary. And Mary's actually runs our chat room for the Heal My Gut program. And so every Tuesday at 8 o'clock, she's online in a chat room to ask questions, but you have to do the gut program to see her. But we have all sorts of resources for you. So make sure that you get the help that you need, and we're here to help you. And that's it. So have a great week, everybody. Spring is coming. It's around the corner. And with that is detox. So I hope you learned the fundamentals and what you need to get started. See you all next week.